Hello. So, what we're going to do at this point, we're going to think about last week. Last week in writing. Well, maybe it didn't really feel like a normal writing week. But last week in writing, we were learning how to do internet searches. We're doing internet searches so that we can find information. That way, we can write about stuff that we learn. We're going to continue that this week. And actually, today, what we're going to do, we're going to think about, well, we'll remember first internet browser, and we'll remember what a search engine is. And then how can we use those keywords to find information? I'm going to actually share my screen. That way we can look at this together. So what are we looking at? That's a good question. So what we need to look at, we need to look at here, Internet Keyword Search and Websites. So that's a document that is on Dropbox. So at this time, if you have not opened this already or have it in front of you, you need to do so now. So please pause the video and then go ahead and pull this up. Okay. Now that you have this up on your computer screen, let's look at this together. Keyword Internet Search Part 2. Last week, you learned the difference between an internet browser and a search engine. It was fun to hear a lot of your recordings about what your parents use. Mom, dad, sometimes they're different, sometimes they're the same. Some of the internet browsers that your parents use, I use as well. I've used Internet Explorer before, but not as often. I've also used Chrome and I've used Firefox. Those are the main ones that I use. I do use Safari sometimes as well. And then for the search engines, I noticed some ones that are popular in Asia and some that are popular in the Western areas like America. So like for a search engine, I always use is Google, but that's not easily assessed or accessible in China. Some of you said Naver, some of you said Baidu. So there's some different types of search engines that you can use. Those are things to help you find information that you want. For our purposes, and this week especially, we will use Safe Search Kids as our main search engine to find some information. Again, Safe Search Kids, I think it has information on there that you can more easily read as a kid, and it's safer for you. Again, though, if you're ever doing internet research or you're searching for information on the internet, I really advise that you do so in the presence of an adult. This is really good advice. They can help you to find information, to find good information, and to help keep you safe online. We'll also learn how to find good information online, okay? Finally, we will learn how to take notes. Ooh, how to take notes from online resources and give credit to authors. So how many of you have an older brother or sister? Yeah, some of you do have older brothers and sisters. Some of you are the oldest brother or sister or the only child. Think about your older brother and sister. Do any of you have a brother or sister in middle school? Okay, high school. Okay, some of you do. Some of you have a brother or sister that's almost in middle school, right? Those fifth graders, they're going to be middle schoolers next year. As you get older in middle school and high school, and even on into fourth and fifth grade, you will be doing more internet searches. So it's really good now to learn how to find information, how to take notes, and how to give credit to the authors. That's the people that write the information that we're finding. Do you know actually, Mrs. Bond, she is a student. Did you know that? Maybe you've heard me say that before. I'm a student too right now. I'm actually getting my master's. And when I go online to find information, I really have to use the stuff I'm going to teach you this week. I have to use this stuff to help me find good information for the papers that I have to write. I have to write a lot of papers. Well, maybe I don't want to exaggerate, but I do have to write a lot. And when I do have to write a lot, I can't just write what I know. I actually have to find information because I'm learning, right? So I have to find information, and I have to find good information. And how do you find good information on the internet? So what I'm teaching you now in 3rd grade, you're going to use the rest of your life. And your brothers and your sisters or your older cousins or anyone older than you, or if they do internet research, they're using these skills too. So look at me with the big, or look with me at the big questions. How do I know which website is a good one for information? What is, ooh, that's a big word, plagiarism? Okay, 4 sounds. Plagiarism. What is plagiarism? Okay, if you have an older brother or sister in middle school or high school, ask them if they know what plagiarism is. I think they should know, but you should ask them. How can I make sure that I do not steal other people's work or writing? How can I give credit to authors while still writing down information that I find online? We're going to go to the next page. Step 1. So remember last week when we identified keywords to enter into the search engine? Well, today we will use those keywords to find answers to our questions. We're actually going to do this together right now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to open up actually Firefox, that browser, and then I'm going to go to safesearchkids.com. So I'm going to stop sharing this screen because I'm going to share another one. There we go. So I'm on Firefox. That's an internet browser. Okay, so for Firefox, this is where I enter the web address. Sometimes it's called a URL. So www.safesearchkids.com. Okay, it's loading. Okay, so this is the search engine that we are going to use this week. Okay, so really quick, I need to remember. Okay, so I'm actually looking at the other document we were on. So searching for information, you have chosen the keywords. I remember that last week. We chose the keywords for the questions on the previous page. I hope you guys still have that. Use these keywords to try to answer the questions. Do not type the questions into the search bar. You will not find such good answers that way. Write your answers in complete sentences. Okay, so the first one was, how many babies do lions usually have? I think our keywords, right, was lion babies, or we said lion offspring. That's another smarter way to say babies. Let's see what comes up. So it's searching, it's loading. When you're waiting and when you see that little circle thing, right, that means it's loading. Loading. That's what we say in English. Okay. All right. Wow, there's lots of what you call websites to choose from. So I see this one, it has the word offsprings, it has the word lion. Oh, good. Okay, so there's lots of things that we can choose from. It's kind of hard to know which one to choose from. But for now, we are just going to try to find quick, easy answers. So we're going to go to this one first. All right, it's still loading. It takes some time. So do you see this? Back, forth, back, forth. It takes time to go to the web page sometimes. It depends sometimes on the speed of your internet. So when you do internet searches, you have to be patient. It takes time to find information. And sometimes you can't always find information on the first source that you look at. So internet searching is a quick, not always, not normally. Normally it takes time to find good information and the information that you need. So as you can tell, this is taking a while. What I'm going to do, I'm going to stop sharing this screen. I'm going to go back to the other one. Okay. So we are trying to find the answer to how many babies do lions usually have. We will write that down together today. You need to try to find the other questions on your own later. After we do this, we're going to talk about how do you know which websites to click on. Did you see when we typed in lion offsprings, there was so many websites we could look at. How do we know which one is the right one to click on? Okay, so the website is still taking a while to load. So it's not always easy or convenient to find information. But in the meantime, let's go on to the next step. So step 2. Now we are going to learn about the domain. Can you guys say domain? Domain. Domain. It's not domain, it's domain. The domain of a web address. So this is like the end of a web address, such as .com, .edu, .gov, .org, .mil, and .net. Okay, so that's interesting. So remember, when we went to safesearchkids.com, that's the ending. So the domain, can you guys say domain? Domain. The domain is like the end of a web address. A web address is where you go on the internet. So I want you to think about this. What is your address? Think about in China. Do you know your address in China? Okay, so where is the school in China? The address of the school in China is 100 Jinshanjiang Lu, Yantai, Shandong, China. Okay, that's the address. It's where you go to find the school. Just like on the internet, a web address is where you go to a website, where you go on the internet. So for the domain, you're looking at the end of a web address. Okay. How do we know which domain is credible and which is not credible? That's a good question. But first off, I know of Mr. Incredible, right? You all know Mr. Incredible. He's pretty incredible. But what is credible and not credible? Let's read on. If a website is credible, that has 3 sounds, credible, then that means that we can trust the information on that website. Thumbs up. Means you can believe it. The authors are experts and know what they are sharing. That means they know a lot about the topic. It is a really good website to find information. So we want credible websites, websites we can believe, websites we can trust, websites that have good information from experts. Okay, now, if a website is not credible, then that means that we cannot fully trust the information on that website. The authors may not be experts on what they are sharing. Maybe there are more than one author that cannot be trusted. These sites are not good sources of information when you are trying to do schoolwork. Okay, maybe I just want to know who won the Steelers game. Well, the Steelers, their season's long been over. But actually, all sports are kind of paused in America right now. But if I wanted to know, or when I did want to know how my Tar Heels were playing in basketball, well, I could quickly just go to any website and find the score. That's okay. If I'm trying to find the score of a sports game, does it really matter which website I go to? Not really. It doesn't really matter. But if I'm trying to do schoolwork and I want to get a good grade, I need to find the best information. And just going to any website is not going to work. Okay. Now, ready for this one? You need to remember this for the rest of your life. Are you ready? The number one website to never look for information for a school project I'm talking about for school, is www.wikipedia.com. Okay, I say this because when you use a search engine, Wikipedia is like the one that's always at the top. Now, I'll tell you a secret. I do look at Wikipedia. I do look at it sometimes. If I want quick information about something that's not related to school, like, hey, who was the guy that played the genie in Aladdin? I would use Wikipedia. But Wikipedia, the problem with that is it's got anyone can put information on Wikipedia. Anyone, really. Anyone can add to Wikipedia to the information on that website. And so if anyone can add information, is that credible or not? It's not credible because you don't know if everyone is an expert. Most likely not. Never use Wikipedia for school because you don't know who is putting the information on Wikipedia. Again, you don't know who is putting information on Wikipedia. Okay, so what you're going to do next. On the next page, you're going to fill out the domain worksheet below using the answer key. Okay, so these are domains, what could be at the end of a web address: .com, .edu, .gov, .org, .mil, .net. What you need to write is here. All right, I help you out, although I know it's a lot, but I still help you out. I tell you exactly what to write. So I want you to write this down. And as you write this down, you're going to begin to know which ones are credible for school, which ones are not credible for school. So I'm going to let you do this part on your own, actually. So I want you to think. There's 6. Whoops, that was 7. There's 6. 3 of them, 3 of the domains are good for school, are really good for school. 3 of them are good for school. When you get done writing down information, which 3 do you think are good for school? Which are credible? Which 3 maybe not so good for schoolwork because they're not so credible? Last thing you're going to do is go to ClassDojo Portfolio and answer the website domain questions. Also, check your answers to the page searching for information. See next page. All right, so there's an answer key. All right, let's see. I'm gonna go really quick to see if that page ever loaded. I've noticed the internet where I'm at is a little bit slow. Okay. Well, it's not fully loaded. I see a little bit of information, but not a lot of information. So, have you guys noticed when you've been doing home-based learning, maybe your internet's not the best? There are going to be times in your life where actually a lot of times in your life where you have to do work on the internet, on a computer. And sometimes the internet doesn't work. If you're ever in a situation where your internet is not working or you're not able to use a computer, it's always a smart idea, a wise idea really, to tell your teacher. Your teacher's not going to be mad. They're going to be actually glad that you told them because then they'll better understand maybe why you couldn't do some of the work. So at this time, the website is not fully loaded on mine. Let's see what you can find with your parents, okay? Now, you just have to put the answers. Just try your best. If it gets too frustrating and you can't do it all, that's fine. At least try to do 2 internet key searches on safesearchkids.com. Try that out. Let me know if you have problems or have a concern. At this time, peace out.